I know it's the video some of you have been waiting for. This Cup predictions list might get a lot of people pissed off. Quite frankly, it pisses me off too, but this is how I see things going. Welcome to Huge Moves Gaming, and here is my top 16 Cup guys in the playoffs. Number 16, this hurts me a little bit. This hurts me. Kurt Busch. Yes, I know it's a new team, and yes, I know him and Larson could be really good together, but Ganassi dropped the ball on this one, and I'll explain why. You know, you got rid of one of the worst drivers in the sport this year rather, for Kurt. But you don't get rid of the crew chief? Really? Come on now. Kurt's gonna lose his mind because Matt McCall is so damn inconfident. So damn inconfident. This isn't going to be like Finch Racing all over again. But there will be a lot of frustration in that one car this year. I do see him getting it on points. But due to who his crew chief is, unless they make a change, I don't see him going anywhere this year. 16th for Kurt Busch. Sucks because he's my favorite driver. Here's number 15. Who I think is on a hot seat right now. Alex Bowman. Yes, Bowman the showman has some talent. He did great at Tommy Baldwin Racing. However, let's get a couple things straight about Mr. Bowman. Besides that Phoenix race filling in for Dale Jr., what has he done besides get a pole? What has he done? And yes, I know Hendrick had a bad year, and he still made it into the playoffs. I get that. Son, you gotta step up. If you don't win this year, or you miss the playoffs this year, you're done. I don't see you missing the playoffs. You'll make it just barely according to my predictions. Alex Bowman is in 15th. Will get eliminated in the first round due to horrendous finishes and bad luck. 14th is the first big surprise. Matthew DiBenedetto. Yes, the D Burrito himself. I know Levine Racing with that new merger with Joe Gibbs. Remember what happened with Furniture Row when they got Joe Gibbs equipment? Martin Truex, bam, he was an instant race contender. I see the same for D Burrito. However, what D Burrito won't have that Truex did is the luck game. I think he will have 6 DNFs, causing him to be... He will make the playoffs for the first time in his career, but due to DNFs, I see him finishing 14th in points. Most of it no fault of his own. This is the one that disgusts me most. Ricky Shithouse Jr. Yes, I know his name is Stenhouse, but let's call it what it is. Besides restrictor plate tracks and Bristol, he's Ricky Shithouse Jr. Why did I pick him to make the playoffs? Because he's going to luck out and win at Talladega. That's why. The Daytona or Talladega, he's going to luck out and win. And then he'll run meh. He'll just miss the round of 12 at 13th. Now, here comes my list right here. Martin, people from New Jersey, do not be mad at me. People from Connecticut, do not be mad at me. I'll explain why. Number 12, Martin Truex Jr. Well, you may think he was driving for a satellite team, was contending for championships. Him going to the main team should be a no-brainer. Wrong. I'll explain why. Truex is old. He's not as old as Harvick and Busch, but he's old. So do you think that they're going to put everything in his car compared to, I don't know, somebody who might be on this list? Kyle Busch is going to be on this list, but I think he might be the third best JGR car this year. The third best. And yes, he has a job and the car's competitive, and I think he will win a race. But man, I just think that JGR is going to screw him over somehow. Because he always gets screwed over at any point in his entire career. That's why I have Truex Jr. 12th. Number 11, this is the Chad Knaus effect. Because we all know William Byron would never make the chase. Or the playoffs, or whatever you want to call it. If he didn't get Chad Knaus. The kid was rushed up too early. Everyone knew it, but Rick Hendrick apparently. And yes, he did have a couple good runs towards the end of the year when the pressure was off him. I do see Byron having a breakout year. I see him winning 3 races, but he'll get eliminated in the second round of the chase due to DNFs from crashes and a blown engine. Number 10, Bowyer, a.k.a. God, according to Kamikaze. Clint Bowyer had himself a bounce-back year from all the hell he went through. From Turner Scott to the Michael Waltrip incident. He went through a ton. And I was happy to see him win those races. I was actually rooting for Bowyer to get into the Final Four, but this year, I see that team taking a big step back. Why? Because they don't have Kurt Busch. When you have veteran drivers who have been around, you don't have to worry as much about all the cars because you know the driver is good. If Suarez joins Stewart-Haas, they're going to load up Suarez. They're going to try to take away from Clint, but Suarez is going to be the worst driver at Stewart-Haas Racing. Hint, he's not in my chase field. Speaking of chase, engine number 9, and so is my spot in the point standings. Chase Elliott had a breakout year. However, NASCAR gave him the win at Watkins Glen. He did not earn that. He should have been thrown in the back of the field for an uncontrolled tire. But all the Chase fans are like, no, he was in. The guys on the ground past the pit box. Seems like out of the box to me. And yes, I know Truex did run out of gas. I know that. But if that didn't happen, you know who wins? Kyle Busch. I think Chase will not win this year, but he'll be very consistent until the playoffs. Then I do see Chase having a meh run and getting caught up in a couple crashes. That is what I see. Now we're in the round of 8. This one's going to surprise you. But I think this driver might be the best young gun we've seen in the last 4 years. Not counting Kyle Larson, obviously. Erik Jones. He had his breakout win at Daytona, and he was running really consistent the whole season. The Jones boy has consistency down, and he had a win. And it took him less time to do it. I personally think that Erik Jones will win 2 races this year. I'm going to say Bristol's one of them. Doesn't matter if it's spring or right before the playoffs start. Or I'm taking Jones at Michigan. That's where I think he'll earn his 2 wins. And I think he'll do really well. But he won't do well enough to get into the Final Four. 8th for Erik Jones. Now, our defending Cup Series champion, Joey Logano. Now, I know what you're thinking. Oh, Hughes. He won the championship. There's no way he could finish 7th in points. Normally, unless your name's Johnson or Yarbrough, you have championship hangovers. Like, it happens. So we shouldn't expect the world from Logano because there's going to be a fall off there. I personally think they won't be as hungry as this year, and you'll see more mistakes, which will cause Joey to not even finish in the top 5, let alone defend his championship. I got him finishing 7th. 6th, we got the Poniola, the Almirola. Love that man. But, do I love him to put him in the top 5? Absolutely not. I'll tell you why. He will be the 2nd best car at Stewart-Haas Racing this year. He's got young blood, that team got momentum, and I think they might put a little more emphasis on that car Now they know that it can win than what they have even this year. I see a big year from Almirola. 4 wins, and he will easily make the playoffs. He doesn't even have to worry about top 12 or top 16. But, unfortunately, due to situations he can't control, I'm going to blame this on his pit crew and a late race crash at Phoenix. He will not make the Final Four. Now, here's the bridesmaid of the always bridesmaid. It's literally hilarious but sad how much he's a bridesmaid. Kyle Larson. Yes, I think Larson will have an incredible year. Do I think he'll get to the Final Four? No. I think Larson will win 5 times next season. He'll be incredibly consistent up until the second round of the playoffs. Then the rails are going to fall off the bus. There's going to be a crash that's going to take him out. He's going to be caught up in Talladega BS. I think he'll just, by 2 points, miss the Final Four. So now, here we are. The Final Four. Brad Keselowski won this race. Well, there's no race to be won. It's December right now. But I do believe he will be in my Final Four. That 2 team can win. They've always shown that him and Paul Wolf are a dangerous combination. Absolutely dangerous. And I think that they will take Logano's luck from this year and be incredibly consistent. I'll see 2 wins from Brad Keselowski this year, but he'll be a maniac with the top 5 and top 10s, but only 2 DNFs the entire season. Brad will be incredibly consistent until it counts. I see him finishing outside the top 10 at Homestead in the Final Four race to decide the championship. Number 3, Kyle Busch. Yes, I know, you can never bet against a car and a driver that always seems to win, who's a young gun, who's just in his prime. But I think that JGR will have a hot start with Kyle. They're honestly gonna do some stuff here. They're gonna win 4 races before Daytona night race. And I think they're gonna be really strong in the championship. Kyle Busch's downfall, though, it's gonna be a pit stop. Right rear tire, he's gonna come back into the pits, and he's gonna have to get a late yellow and drive back up to, I'd say, about 8th. But he'll be 3rd in the standings because these 2 would be in front of him in the race. 7-time himself, Jimmie Johnson. You may think, he had a horrible year, and he lost Canal, so what are you doing? Well, 7-time champion, you can't bet against him. Hendrick, as a whole, had a down year next year, and with the new Fords coming in, might equalize things. So I believe on that note alone, we will see Jimmie Johnson winning races again. I see him winning at Atlanta, I see him winning at Dover, and I see him winning at Pocono. He will have an incredibly consistent season, and then at Phoenix he will win in the playoffs to get into the Final Four. Jimmie Johnson will win at Phoenix. But I think he will come up just short at Homestead, finishing 3rd. Now, at number 1, since I don't have a drum roll, I'm going to use my stomach. Happy Harvick. Now, if you watched sport last year, you know Stewart Haas basically dominated everything. You know Harvick had a ridiculous start of the season. I don't think he'll get his start of the season how he got it last year. I think the end of the season he will. I think Harvick will go on an absolute rampage and win 3 playoff races, and I think he'll win at Homestead to win the championship. His second, where he could probably think, okay, maybe it's time for me to hang it up after 2021. I think this could be the last great shot of Kevin Harvick. And I think Tony Stewart realizes this too. So they put everything together to help him out at Homestead, and he wins. Now, for other predictions, since I think Harvick's going to be our champion, I see 11 crew chiefs being suspended for the entire season for post-race inspection. I see the same amount of car chiefs as well. Will I think there's any drive suspensions? No. Do I think people lose their rides? Yes. How many? I think 12. If you count the Xfinity, you count the Gander Truck Series, and you count the Cup, you'll see at least 12 drivers lose their rides next season. And this is my Cup Predictions 2019 video. We will have Xfinity and trucks on another day that we can fit it in. Thank you so much for watching. I'm sorry for boring you for 16 minutes. My name is Hughes Moves Gaming. Please like and subscribe if you like this video, and I'm coming back at you with another one as soon as I possibly can. Thank you so much, viewers.